the pain, ouch, of overpricing your home. You want to stick around and watch. This is Kasama Lee, your community realtor. So if you are selling your home, or if you're thinking about selling your home, you'll want to stick around and watch till the end of this video about the true pain of overpricing your home in this fascinating market. If you find this content valuable and you want to hit subscribe and the bell notification, you definitely don't want to miss future videos. Thank you for supporting the channel, for sharing, for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We've been receiving some new subscribers lately. This would just help elevate the channel so that we can get in front of more people that would appreciate what we bring about the marketplace. Pricing strategy. What is that all about? You see, when each listing comes on the market, that's not always the case, okay? There should be a pricing strategy that comes before the property comes on the market. And I cannot say enough about this, as the majority of our business is really on putting homes on the market, representing sellers. It's been interesting though, now that I've said that. For the last few years, our business model has been more serving sellers. This year, interestingly, I want to say it's almost half and half that we are also working with buyers. Many of them have been with us for quite some time, and now it's just time for them to find a home, because you see, there are a lot of listings that are coming on the market right now. So before the house hits the market, before it comes on the market, the number or the asking price of the property should have a strategy behind it, and it shouldn't be just a number that you throw on the board, or that the seller respectfully may feel that their house is worth. It should come from various places. One of the places is really what has recently sold that is comparable to that house. And I know some homes have more elaborate updates, improvements, better quality than others. The question is, if you put, I don't know, $90,000 into a house, does that mean your house is worth $90,000 more than a house that's just recently sold, right? So there has to be some science behind that and some strategy behind that, that if you're working with a competent real estate agent who knows that market, who has studied the comps, should be able to help you come in close to a favorable pricing strategy. And yes, sometimes in this market, that means you price it slightly below the market value, the perceived market value of the property. Why do we do that? We need to do that to basically attract foot traffic. I don't mean drive-by traffic of people pulling the flyers in front of the house. I mean people who actually are pre-approved buyers, are working with a real estate agent who actually want to see the home. The only way to get them into a home is your price has to be attractive, which means it's not overpriced. So if, let's say, the perceived market value is here, the price of your home coming out of the gate should not be here, because that's going to set you back. Because buyers are smart and they're comparing and they're savvy. Sometimes if they're not in a hurry, they will wait until the house actually gets reduced, the price gets reduced, and that's when they'll come through. So now you're losing some time and momentum of the property, okay? So what happens when the property may be overpriced and the seller has to make some decisions? So there are three things that may happen. They may just have to do the price reduction that we talked about, because it's been on the market for 30 days, 60 days. So the price starts coming down. Now they're doing what we call chasing the market, right? Because the market is not keeping up with the price that they were at. The second thing they might do is they may take it off the market. And they may just go, you know what, this is not working. This is not the time. We just can't do this anymore, and they take it off the market. So that's a missed opportunity, unfortunately, for the seller, because they may have made plans, right, to be moving somewhere, and now they've had to just put that plan on hold. The third thing that may happen is they may just decide to rent it out, keep the house because they just can't sell it at the price that would make sense to them, and they just rent it out. And that may or may not work, the numbers wise, right? Because it's also going to be dependent on the rental market, what they might be able to rent it for as well. But those are the three things that typically happen when the property is priced above where the market or where the demand is at. I want to leave you with an example, a case study that literally just happened with our seller. We took the listing, and the seller, I made a recommendation of a price range that we should put it on the market. This is after the seller had put some work into it. They did the interior paint, they did a bunch of stuff to it. I gave a suggested price range, and the seller basically got a ping from one of the banks. What that app suggested is that the house should be, the market value of the house is $30,000 more than the range that we were suggesting. So we had a good conversation, and thank goodness my client listened and valued our opinion, and explained to them that that's, those apps, they haven't been to your house, they don't know the market. Their algorithms just pull all the different souls, and sometimes they're not comparable, and sometimes they're outside of the range, and that's what they pull up, and they spit that number out, and it really throws homeowners off when they're trying to put the house on the market. I can tell you that firsthand. I explained all that. My wonderful client actually listened and valued our opinion and agreed to list at the range that we suggested. Guess what? Within 2 weeks, the house went into escrow. We received multiple offers. We were able to get the house to sell and close at the price that we came on the market for, which is not always the case in today's market, okay? So imagine if we had priced it higher, let's say $30,000 higher, we would still be sitting on the market, not getting traffic, and probably would be doing price adjustments right now. But that property closed and sold, and our client wrote beautiful, raving reviews about the work that we've done in serving them. And that's not to puff our chest and say, hey, we're all that. That's just to prove that what I'm sharing with you is the actual real life situation that's happening. That's a case study, which means it's a real life situation that happened. So it's really important that you listen to the experts that you're hiring, because it's not because we want to get you to sell your house for less. It's because we want you to get your house sold. One last chart I will leave with you. If you look at this chart, you can see that it all depends on where you live as well. There's an ongoing price decrease throughout the United States. And you can see that the majority of the regionally price reductions in June were significantly more common in the South and West. 23% of the listings have had price reductions than they were in the Northeast. That's about 13% of listings that had price reduction, reflecting the inventory divergence across these regions. Have you heard the latest? That we are in now a shifting market? It's actually shifted to what used to be a normal market. You see, the pandemic in 2020 just sort of created this burst of accelerated home appreciation and shortage of inventory, and a really one of the all-time low interest rates. We are no longer in that era. We are actually going back to what is called normal real estate. The number of days of homes sitting on the market is taking longer. Yes, longer than what's been happening in the last 3-4 years, which confuses a lot of home sellers on the market. But being that I've been in this industry for quite some time, over a couple of decades, yes, we have seen average homes on the market, sitting on the market longer the way it is now. Now, let's talk about the 3 most important things that if you are considering selling, or if you're just a homeowner who may not be thinking about selling, you should know about these 3 elements that are impacting our shifted market as we are today. By the end of this video, you should have a clearer picture of what to expect, what to anticipate, and what the market is doing that is reshaping the condition of the market. If you find this type of content valuable, you want to hit subscribe, you know it, and the notification so you don't miss future videos. I thank you for your support, for sharing the content, for subscribing, for replying. That is all great for the channel to continue to grow. Thank you. Let's get right to it. Element number 1, there is more inventory now on the market. As a matter of fact, if you see this chart right now, the number of homes for sale is at the highest point in 6 years. That is what is happening nationally. So it's not just one specific area. Now, it's great if that's not what's happening in your community or your city. There are some exceptions always to the rule, to the national statistics. So if you are not in that area where there are a ton more listings for buyers to look at, that's wonderful, because you can probably still anticipate multiple offers. There's still some happening right now, depending on what they're doing with the second element that I'm going to be talking about in just a little bit. Now, does this mean that because there are more homes on the market now, do buyers have more power? Not necessarily. What it means, though, is that buyers have more choices to choose from, and they can take their time. So you're going to see when we're doing open houses now, we see pre-approved qualified buyers in the market looking to buy. They're just not pulling the trigger as quickly as they used to, because they know that there are, so many more houses that they need to look at that is in their price range. And if you were buying, you would probably do the same thing. Element number 2, putting your home on the market at the right price matters now more than ever. It is about coming out of the gate at the right price, instead of thinking that your home is probably, it's worth more and it should be priced higher because it may have some high-end features, it may have, all the luxury features, and then there's 5 other homes, right, that's comparable to yours that may not have all of it, but is priced much lower. Well, guess what? The buyer's going to go for because they have the ability to shop, like I talked about in the first point, they're going to take their time and they're going to pick a home that may have comparable number of bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage and so on and so forth, or maybe has a more desirable floor plan, and they're going to go with the one that they can get the most bang for their buck. So price it well coming out of the gate, and this is where you should lean on your local real estate agent to kind of give you a range or a ballpark of what that might look like, and it may not be the number that you were anticipating. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are you looking to sell, and how much time do you have to let it sit on the market before you can sell? There's a direct correlation to that, right, of the motivation of the seller. Now, based on this article, here's how to avoid being one of those sellers who has to reduce their asking price. Daniel Hale, chief economist at Realtors.com, says, the rising share of price reduction suggests that a lot of sellers are anchored to prices that aren't realistic in today's housing market. Today's seller would be wise to listen to feedback they are getting from the market. And you can see the chart, right, of price reductions that are happening as of May 2025. The average is 19.1% of sellers nationwide have been making price reduction. And you look at the chart on the screen now, California has an 18% of sellers making price reduction since they've been on the market. Element number 3, flexibility wins negotiations. What does that mean? If you are a seller and you have some flexibility to negotiate on, inspection concessions, on closing cost concession to the buyer, you're going to have a better chance of being that listing that actually goes into escrow. See, the beautiful word right now is not listing. The beautiful word right now is being in escrow. That's what every seller would love to be able to see, because that means at the end of it, they would be able to move on with their goal. Okay, so if you look at the chart on the screen, the data from Redfin shows that nearly 44.4% of sellers are willing to negotiate. So there you have it. These are the 3 important elements in the current summer of 2025 market that every seller should pay attention to, especially before you put your house on the market. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thanks for following me along, and thanks for watching.